If you're watching this on YouTube, I just want to let you know that if you'd prefer to listen to this episode as a podcast, you can click the link down in the description, which will take you to our Spotify, where we will be uploading all of our longer review-type videos as podcasts. And if you'd rather keep watching the longer videos here on the channel, that is fine too, because in addition to being on the Spotify, they will continue to be posted on this YouTube channel.
What's up, everybody? It's ya boys, Paul and Evan, back at it again with another Bad Batch review. Season 1, Episode 10, Common Ground. Before we get into it, let us know your thoughts in the comments. For us, possibly maybe the worst one of the season so far.
We will elaborate.
But we will break it down, so stay tuned.
Yeah. We're not gonna go too off of the other videos in this one. Try to keep the same format style, different categories, and then breaking those down. I wanted to start with one of the smaller parts of the episode, which was Omega. Omega took kind of the back seat in this one, which is a little bit new because for the most part she has been there every single episode, and sometimes she's been the main, like the central plot of the episode. A lot of it's devoted to her development or her learning something or her being chased by someone. But yeah, she was in the beginning scene. She kind of got benched, and then we had a little subplot with her and Sid and her gambling. I want to be honest here. I feel like that entire subplot was just kind of unnecessary. I feel like Omega could have taken an even larger step out of the show. That's not because I don't like Omega. I think Omega's great. One of the best parts of the show. But I feel like this episode could have been her little cool down. They literally they also mentioned this during the mission when Hunter says Omega can do this, and Tech's like, oh yeah, she's not here. So her being absent from the show, as long as being absent from the Bad Batch, would even help drive that point more, that she's not here right now. I feel like they're taking away time from the rest of the episode with this whole thing and her gambling. If they wanted to use that to resolve the debt, I feel like maybe right at the end, they could have had, oh yeah, Omega solved all your debt, by the way, while you were gone. I feel like those couple scenes we had were a little irrelevant. But I want to hear what you feel about her in this one.
Honestly, I might have to argue a little bit. I thought personally this was one of the brighter spots of the episode. Because at first I thought it was just going to be her pouting the whole time. But I'm happy that she kind of did her own thing. She started doing the hollow chest, and she earned back the debt for them, so now they're debt free. I do think we would agree that maybe it was too much of the episode. Maybe it did take too much screen time. But I would say flesh out the other parts. Give us more Bad Batch. Keep that role limited to what it was. Make the episode longer. We've said it before, this could be a 2-hour episode if they really wanted it to. I'm not saying it has to be, but give Omega that backseat role. Make it a backseat role. I'm fine with her gambling, paying off the debt, but show me more Bad Batch. We're going to get into all of that. So I think I would agree that maybe it did take up too much screen time in proportion, but honestly, I was okay with it. I thought it was pretty cool to see her, again, holding her own, helping out the team, even though it's not in the direct mission that they were on.
Yeah, I agree with that, but just with the given length of the episode, if they're not going to make it longer than what it was, then this is the less important one that I would have focused on, because of reasons which we will talk about later. Episode. That's my big reasoning behind this. Another reason I feel that way is because it's kind of weird how the whole point of her staying behind, she's not staying behind because she's helpless. She feels helpless in the episode, and Sid, tries to pick her up and helps her with playing the hollow chest or whatever. The point more primarily is that she's being hunted by 2 lethal bounty hunters, as well as essentially the Empire, since she's traveling with the Bad Batch and the Bad Batch is hunting the Empire. She is wanted. She's a very valuable target. The point is not that she can't handle herself. The point is she needs to stay as safe as possible and doesn't need to, go out in public when it's not necessary. And I agreed with that completely, with the fact that she stayed there. But then, like, the whole point was her keeping a low profile, not, causing trouble or being noticed. But then, like Hunter says at the end, she's got a crowd of like
She's
100
drawing
people
crowds. Yeah.
watching her and Sid play hollow chess. That's not very low profile, as Hunter rightfully says. But then he's kind of made out to be the bad guy there. His thing was never that she
Yeah.
was helpless. His thing was making sure nobody found where they were, because at this point, Sid's bar is like their only safe place. And even Wrecker was upset at Hunter. Like he nudged him in the shoulder and he gave
Yeah.
him a dirty look when Hunter said you were supposed to be keeping a low profile. I disagree with that. I think that Hunter's was in the right there. That the point. It's not that you know Omega is helpless. It's that it's safer when they're on a mission that they can probably handle on themselves, which they did. It's safer to keep her there so that she's not found. And obviously, that doesn't change what Omega feels because this makes her feel helpless, which is fine. And then Hunter comes in to talk her out of it. Let's play to find out here if you win, then
Yeah.
you'll come with us every time now. But my issue is how it feels like kind of like contradictory to where the point was her being there to have like keep a low profile, and then she's like celebrated for doing the opposite of that. That was kind
Yeah.
of my big, and that's why I felt like the episode wasn't as good on a rewatch.
I will say though, I feel like Omega, and I feel like this was more her doing. Like she wanted to say, all right, I'm supposed to keep a low profile, but you know what? I don't care about that. I want to make the Bad Batch proud. Like let me try to do something. Like she is a child. Like she is gonna want to do sometimes irresponsible things. But I do agree. Like maybe the Bad Batch should be the responsible ones. Hunter was. He's like, dude, you're doing the exact opposite of what I said. That's like she should have followed that. But honestly, I give her some slack. Because like I probably would do the same thing, try to make my dad proud or my big bro proud. Um, but I agree. I feel like that is kind of weird. They could probably figure it out a different way to make her, I don't know, maybe make back the debt or get back in Hunter's good favor like she did. They didn't necessarily have to draw a crowd like that and contradict themselves.
Yeah.
But I like my suspension of disbelief is just that all right, she's a kid. She will be irresponsible at times. So I wasn't too minus about that, but I do see what you're getting at.
Yeah, and my problem wasn't Omega. It was just how the episode went about
Yeah.
doing this, and then it ends up making Hunter out to be the bad guy, sort of, just right at the end there, even though what he said to do was the right thing at the moment. I
Yeah.
was fine with how Omega felt about it. I thought that was in character, that made sense. But just the extra amount of time we spent on that, just for them to go back and then like undo what the whole point of it was. It just felt like
Yeah.
we could add more of the runtime dedicated to the rest of the team, which I
Yeah.
figured was the point of benching Omega, was to give us an episode about the team. So then they bench her, but
Yeah.
then
Yep. Yep.
they find a way to keep her in it, and then take screen time away from the Bad Batch, which is what this episode I thought was supposed to be about.
Yeah.
But anyway, uh, one positive here, one cool thing, we learned that Omega is really good at strategy. And I mean, I
Yes.
like just how we're just slowly finding out more and more details about her capabilities and the types of, I guess, not modifications we know now, but like why she would be this sort of valuable kind of clone that the Kaminoans are after, being one of the only sources of this genetic material left. She's learning a bunch of new abilities. She can use the bow pretty well. She's a good strategist, as we found out. We've seen her handle herself in past episodes. So I think it's just cool, slowly learning what she can do.
Yeah. She seems to be like an ace of all cards. Like primarily she's been leaning towards like Hunter and his abilities. And he's been like, the big bro role. We've seen that. And I think the strategy part is playing into that. Again, it's them two like having the final chess duel. Because I guess Hunter's probably the best hollow chess player of the Bad Batch, so that's pretty cool. But we have seen I think the first episode, but also with her bow, she's like pretty much a sharp shot, kind of like Crosshair. She seems smart, kind of like Tech, but to me, it hasn't really been in the same way Tech is smart. It's more been like hunter smarts, like intuition almost. So I'd like to see if she is again this jack of all trades that everyone's saying, like an amalgamation of the Bad Batch. I'd like to see her display more of tech traits and also Wrecker, the strength. But I don't know because again she's a child. I don't know if they could do that. Uh,
She just gets
but
jacked.
yeah, I guess my point is, and this is like a larger issue, is they're really hitting the Hunter and Omega dynamic on the head, and I still want to see like the rest of the Bad Batch like flesh out their kind of relationship with Omega, maybe by her skills developing or just in general.
Yeah. That I agree with. I think, getting more of them, not even just by themselves, because we'll talk about that in a second, but with her in general, because it seems like Wrecker and mostly Hunter are the two that
Yeah,
talk.
Wrecker as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
has been good.
But like Tech and Echo, they're just she's just kind of there for
Yeah,
them.
we'll get into Tech and Echo.
Yeah, well, you know what? We'll do that right now.
Let's hop right into it.
Moving on to the Bad Batch themselves. This episode had humongous wasted potential in my eyes. We find out
Yes.
we find out that Avi Singh, the senator, is a
Great
separatist.
guy. Wait, hold up.
Yes.
Great guy, by the way. Another highlight of the episode. Let me just get that in there. But continue.
Definitely.
Sorry.
I did like Avi Singh.
Yeah.
But he is a separatist, and when Sid gives them the mission, the whole team is like hesitant because they don't want to rescue a separatist. They're like, this is
Yeah.
ridiculous. Why? No, I'm not taking Omega to a separatist planet or place with the Empire. They don't want to rescue him. They have been born to be against the separatists. They were taught to. They're literally in a war against the separatists for their entire life, and now they're being told they have to go rescue one. And it's not like they have a choice because Sid is their only safe place right now. You have this huge setup for this conflict about them not wanting to rescue the separatists. And then nothing comes of it at all. Absolutely zip. Nothing. We get Echo on the shuttle. He's like, but he's a separatist. And Tech's like, yeah, you said it like 10 times. And then they're just over it. They're just, okay, let's just go save him. And then there's like a couple snarky side comments about Rex, like, "Oh, you're not our friend, pal. You're not that guy, pal."
You're not that guy, pal.
Like, yeah, and like that was all we got of it.
Yep.
Like they don't have any sort of They don't. In our view, we thought that the group would kind of split down the middle with maybe Echo and Tech, or not Echo, maybe Hunter and Tech maybe having accepted it and it's like, okay, we got to do the mission. But then Wrecker and Echo seeing a droid and a separatist that they have to help, just not wanting to go along with it. Maybe the mission collapses, something falls apart. There's a problem that they have to learn to fix by trusting the separatist or whatever.
Yep.
Which is where I think a lot of the runtime from the Omega plot could have gone to. And that's more of why I didn't prefer that. Not because it was like the worst thing ever, but because of what it took away from this episode. There's a lot of people pointing out this cool moment where Echo says, live to fight another day to the separatists at the end, just like our boy Hardcase did in the Umbara arc, RIP. But that wasn't earned at all. That was like the only thing Echo ever said to the dude. Like that was not earned at all. It didn't feel like it resolved this, this thing. Like it just kind of, I was underwhelmed with the setup just leading to absolutely nothing, and then they try to wrap it up in like one line.
Yeah, underwhelmed and unsatisfied, really. Like there was specifically, I mentioned it in the reaction as well, when they get caught in the mansion. When again the group is split up. You have Hunter and Tech, who more or less don't really mind the separatists. Not that they like them, but they're like, all right, it's the mission I gotta get done. And then Wrecker and Echo, who outspokenly do not want to be here, do not want to help the Seppi at all. And for me, that's a perfect point to, all right, they're split up, have them butt heads away from each other. Have Echo and Hunter talk about Wrecker and Wrecker and Echo behind their backs and be like, I can't believe these guys are messing up. They gotta follow they have to get the mission done. It's about the mission, not about politics. And then, all right, oh no, the alarm trips. Cut to Wrecker and Echo. They trip the alarms because they're butting heads about, why are we even here? I don't want to help him. And then they get caught. So they get caught up in the politics, and that like jeopardizes the mission. We already have like a jeopardy in the mission, seemingly out of nowhere. They just get caught. So why not put the storyline your art you named the episode Common Ground. Why not put that storyline within that? Like it seemed like such a perfect opportunity for someone like me who knows little to nothing about story writing. Like that makes perfect sense. I would have loved that. But again, there specifically, I was losing it. But the whole episode, like you said, it was just unearned. Echo goes, live to fight another day. Like, why did he tell that to him? 20 minutes ago, before like on the shuttle, he's like, I don't want to be here. Why are we even helping this guy? Like,
Yeah.
what changed? The viewers, saw nothing change except they blew up some ATTEs, which is cool. I like that, but it makes it so much more fulfilling and satisfying when there's story behind it. And this
Yeah.
episode, more than any, me and Evan both have like, wow, like they dropped the ball. I'm sorry, they
Yeah.
really did.
Yeah. I think it would have been better if that wasn't even brought up at all, and they just left it as it was, because then it would just be regular, casual story, whatever. But just to tease us with a setup of this intriguing idea
Yes.
of ideology in these clones, which is, a big point, like a big, selling point to me anyway, and then to just do nothing about it is just really disappointing. The description for the episode, like on Disney Plus, the little blurb, is literally the Bad Batch has their ideology challenged. Okay, sure, for like 2 minutes, and then they get over it,
Two
and then
seconds.
it's just
Yeah.
like, okay, we're good now.
Yeah.
I just that was like, you can watch in our reaction every time they hint at something. I was
Common
getting excited. I was
ground.
like, common ground, like the name of the episode. Oh, these are separatists. They're not gonna want to do that. And then
Yep.
it just like nothing at all comes from it. And that's why I was as hard as I was on the Omega arc, because on its own, okay, fine, whatever.
Mhm.
But with the issues that I said with the Omega arc, along with this, which is the bigger thing, taking away the valuable minutes and screen time that this story arc could have been, is why I was dissing on the Omega bit so much. Because if the point is to have her benched so that you can do something with the Bad Batch, why
Do
bring her
something.
back more
Yeah.
to take away screen time from the thing you were
Yeah.
setting up in the first place? So it's just like like, I don't know, it just felt odd. It's all
Yeah.
like just it was just bad.
No, I think when you have, because the Omega storyline, it's an okay storyline. I said it was a brighter
Yeah,
spot just
yeah.
because of how, but when you have a just okay storyline, a B plot, compounded with a very, in my opinion, honestly, very weak A plot, it just snowballs. It makes you underappreciate the B plot because in the whole, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. So then you get more picky and choosy. And you're like, hey, this doesn't make sense. What gives? Whereas if we had a lot of development, we had a lot of ideologies challenged, like actually, then you would kind of overlook, be like, okay, yeah, she's just a kid doing whatever. I don't really care about that because it's such a good
Yeah,
episode.
yeah.
But when you move, like when you miss out on these opportunities, it's just the overall experience is like watered down, and that
Mhm.
stinks because we love Star Wars, we love the Bad Batch. The action was cool, it looked great, but the
Yeah.
story, Star Wars is a story, like that's what it's about, and that's what it needs to be about to be good, and really dropped the ball.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, and like, I mean, like we said, the episode, it's not like I hated this episode. It's not like I
Yeah,
think it was like the worst thing I've ever seen. Like, I was fine. Like, it just felt like a middle of the road. It felt like a Clone Wars filler episode.
yeah.
Which is a great transition into the fact that the last time we were on Raxus, which is the planet
Hey,
in this episode, they actually challenged the ideology that was literally in Clone Wars. The last time they were on this exact same planet. I think it's called Heroes on Both Sides. Was one of the episodes. I can't remember if that was the only one or if it was like a 2-3 arc.
right.
But Padme and Ahsoka come to Raxus to talk to Mina Bonteri, who is Padme's friend, who they used to be, or they're still friends, but Mina's in the Separatist Senate. And it's about Ahsoka, coming here and realizing that not all the Separatists were Count Dooku, that not all the Separatists were droids. A lot of them were just people.
Hmm.
And we see that she grows to be like her and Lux, they become friends. She sees that Mina is actually a nice person. Padme and Mina are friends despite being on opposing sides of a war. And that what's funny is that was like a decade ago, and then we're back on the same planet, and they promise to do that again, or at least they set up to do that again, and then it just kind of is subpar in comparison.
Yeah.
I much prefer how it went down in Clone Wars, because like that whole, and then we find out that Dooku has Mina killed, and then it just
Oof.
shows you that Dooku is not even most separatists. Most separatists are just people like Mina who want to leave the Republic. But I
Yeah.
thought that was funny. How
Yeah.
the same story, same planet, and one did it a lot better than the other.
And I think the reason we're being so harsh is because, again, we see how well he did in Clone Wars. We see the potential. We see what it could be. Like, this could have been a great episode. And missing out on what we know could have been like a nice, like, awesome little episode just hurts. So
Yeah,
we might be coming hard. Like, again, we liked the episode. I rewatched it. It was cool. But just missing out, like, oh, especially when it's right there for the taking, it's just, it
yeah,
hurts me inside.
and that's mostly why I was so harsh on the Omega bit, because could have used
Yeah.
all of that screen time for those cutaways in the middle. Just use that for some dialogue, some talk, some like change. Something happens with the group or something because this ideology of it
Yes.
supposedly being challenged, but we didn't
Just
really get any of
something.
that. And then they just at the end they just like they plop
Yeah.
in that line by Echo just to say, "Oh yeah, no, they're over it. It's fine now. They found the
Sh-
common ground." They
Yeah.
find the common ground immediately.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know. There was no search for it. It was just there. Um,
Yep.
and that was very disappointing. And just to see like the comparison between the last time they were on literally the same planet,
Hmm.
was
Yeah.
just done so much better before.
Yep.
But yeah, anything else on this little missed opportunity here? Because I do want to eventually move on.
Okay. Now let's
Okay.
hop off this for a
Um,
second. Yeah.
cool detail. The Bad Batch, they're still stunning clones. They're not shooting them. Which is a little weird because episode 8, I think, on the Venator, they
Hmm.
were just killing clones left and right. Even Omega was getting in on the action. She was using her
Oh yeah.
bow and just like shooting clones right through the chest. I guess that's all right because that was a lot more of a life-threatening,
Yes.
situation
Yes.
where if they just kept knocking them down, what if they get up again? You just that was for their life, for their you know, for Omega essentially, because she was about to capture 2. Crosshair was there. That was a lot more intensive a situation than this, which is probably why they were still, just stunning the clones, knocking them unconscious. Because at the end of the day, they're still, even though they're not as close to Regs as they're each other, they're still basically they're still brothers, and they didn't really want to kill them. At least I feel like that would be the better way to think of it.
Yeah.
That they just want to they don't want them to die.
No, yeah. I remember you called it out in the reaction where like this is way less of a do or die them or us situation where they go into it like they premeditated their whole plan, so they're I mean they have more thought behind it to where okay, let's stun these guys. We know we're gonna get in and out, get the guy, whatever. It's not, oh my goodness, these guys could kill us, they could kill Omega, they could capture us, they could blow his whole ship up. Like that was very much an emergency where again it's kind of like self-defense, like they're gonna kill me, I'm gonna kill them. But now we see where it's kind of more espionage, kind of like, oh, we'll knock them out just so I can get in and out and we're gone. We don't want it because, again, like you said, they're brothers. So, while some people might say that's inconsistent, I think that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Where I do want to contrast Rex because I could see this being a counter argument where Order 66, pretty much a do or die, them or us situation. But Rex way closer to Regs than the Bad Batch again, like you said. Um, so I don't think that's a valid comparison because again, Rex it was his own 501st crew. That would be like them trying to kill Crosshair,
Yeah.
which again would be unimaginable. I think even if it is do or die. So again, I don't think it's that big of a like a continuity error. I think it's fine, and I think it's makes sense for them to want to like not kill their brothers.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that was just a cool thing I noticed. Obviously, season 7, you got that Venator's crashing, and Rex is still there. He's just stunning all the clones. Ahsoka's deflecting the blast instead of actively trying
Hmm.
to like stab them. Um, Rex is a lot closer to them, like you said. But it's just a cool detail like that. See, the whole thing wasn't bad. Okay, it was good
Yeah,
stuff.
there is cool little details like that. I mean, which makes it like again, it could have been so much better.
Yeah.
But let's we've said our piece on that.
Yeah, what's that also kind of sucks because moving on to sort of stuff, other stuff in the episode, I think this is one of the best looking episodes. Just the design of Raxus, like the lighting and the colors of the planet, updated in with today's animation. That
Oh
just it looks
yes,
amazing. Like it was such a vibrant place. I don't know, and something about the animation was really nice too. One specific moment that we both kind of looked at is when they blow the hole in the wall and they walk in. You
just about
have
to bring that
the
up.
hallway, the tunnel's completely dark. You have all the light shining in from outside, and like the rocks are crumbling from the hole, and it looks so real and it looks so great. It's ironic that this is one of the best looking episodes, but probably one of the worst content wise.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, the lighting has been and like the animation has been on point so far. There's probably been a couple. I haven't like dissected it like some people have. I know there's some weird things with things that aren't in focus. I saw online somewhere. Um,
Okay.
so they probably didn't have the full budget as maybe season 7 of Clone Wars did.
Hmm.
But it still looks really good. And if you can go back to like Clone Wars seasons 1 and 2 mostly, it
Oh
is
man.
crazy how far this style has sort of evolved.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think like even every episode they find a new trick like to pull. Because I remember episode 1, I was like, oh, what a great shot. But every episode we keep saying it like, oh, it gets better and better. It really does. They
Yeah.
like the animators somehow find a new like, oh, check out this crumbling rock. Yeah, you didn't know we could do that, could you?
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's awesome. Again, it's great to see that, but when you have a weak episode, like, it waters it down.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked a little bit, but Avi Singh, I actually really like this dude.
Yes.
The highest point of the episode to me was that beginning with him, and the Imperial. Like the Imperial is like, yeah, your senator agrees with our occupation. He knows that the Empire is what's best for the people. Everyone's booing, and he's talking quietly to his droid about how he doesn't think it's right. He goes up and he starts to talk, BA Empire, but then he realizes that it's wrong, and he stands up for his people. That was the highlight of the episode for me, that beginning scene. Um,
Absolutely.
and then even at the end there, when they're getting on the shuttle, he's like, "No, I can't leave my people like this." You know, he doesn't want to leave them, and all that while being a separatist, which is just more, more examples showing of how, separatists aren't always the bad guy. Just like in
Exactly.
those Clone Wars episodes,
Yeah.
which would have been helped further had the bad guy been, kind of there along for the ride with that.
Dude,
Um,
this Avi Singh, I mean, me especially, I kept saying like, "Oh, I love this guy." Like, but realistically, he was the perfect separatist for the Bad Batch to befriend. Maybe they
yeah.
will next episode for a little bit more. But he's a man of the people. He joined the separatists because he thought it was his people's best interests. Now
Mhm.
that the Empire's here, um, and in the face of military occupation, he says, "You know what? No, I disagree. Like, I don't care what you're gonna do, imprison me, whatever. I want my people to be happy." And I
Yeah.
feel like the Bad Batch and clones in general would respect that. Um, so like I think Avi Singh was very well written. Again, that first intro, the cold open, was probably the best part of that. Yeah, it was the best part of the episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, which stings because again, so much potential when you have a guy who's so like, how can you not like Avi Singh?
Yeah, this guy with this
He's
epic
awesome.
mustache. How do you dislike
Oh
that?
my goodness, the monocle too. Like everything points to him being a great like sympathetic separatist to the Bad Batch, and we lose it there a
Yeah,
little bit. But obviously, in general, I can't complain there. I think him and his character was a good bright spot of the
yeah.
episode.
Even his droid, I didn't mind a lot of people, you have a droid character come along, they're like, they're the annoying one that people don't
Yeah,
like. I
another
was it
droid.
like
Yeah,
CZ8 or C?
CZ8. I'm pretty.
There's an
Let
8
me.
in there somewhere.
Yeah,
But I didn't mind her. She was pretty cool for her being a servant. There's a couple funny moments where she's like, this is my master's house, And then they turn and point their gun. She's like, oh, okay, goodbye. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that vase. The
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. She's walking around with it the whole time just for Avi to use it to like smash over a clone. This is hilarious.
yeah,
Uh, I never liked that base anyway. But yeah, those two characters, I thought were pretty cool. I don't know if I'd want to see them throughout the rest of the show.
yeah.
Um, I feel like they were. I would have liked them more had their subplot with the Bad Batch been more fleshed out. Then they would have been even
Exactly.
better. But they're like, I feel like they're the perfect one episode, one story grouping of characters.
Yes. Yeah.
It just, the show did not deliver on that. But them themselves, they were pretty nice.
Yeah, I was gonna. I was literally gonna say the same exact thing. Like they're perfect one episode characters.
Yeah.
But yeah, unfortunately, not the perfect episode.
Yeah. And the Empire that is there on Raxus that he's fighting against, we see more of their leaving the old ways of the Republic. The ATT had none of the Republic colors or the iconography. The
Nope.
maroon was gone. It was just all gray. I really like this transition phase where it's like a mix of the two. You have like the colors of the eventual Imperial, like walkers and ships and destroyers and whatever. Plus the Clone Wars designs is a great middle ground because transitioning at first they don't have all the resources that they eventually have, so they use what they had from the Republic, just recolored. Same with the clones; they're all blank clones now. I just think it's cool when we see more stuff like that. I want to see a clean Venator. Just I don't think we've gotten one yet. I
Yeah.
don't think we have. All the ones we've seen were destroyed in on what's the planet? The trash planet. I can't remember. I know.
Bracca.
Yeah, Bracca. I was thinking.
Oh, I almost forgot too.
I was thinking I had Raxus on my mind. I was gonna say
Yeah.
Raxus, but that was no. Yeah, but those are the only Venators we've seen on Bracca. I want to see an Imperial one with like none of the like maroon.
Especially the Clone Wars style too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would be heartbreaking, but it would be awesome.
Yeah. I do want to say though, we've mentioned it before, but just the clones, like something familiar in that new context, like that emotion it brings, it's still kind of like eerie or like I don't know, it gets your stomach like churning because again, like we spent all this time, 17 years of the Clone Wars, falling in love with them, and now boom, they're the Empire. All their personality, perfectly gray, like it's really cool to see, and that's kind of like the subtle nuance behind it that might get overlooked, but I do want to mention that again.
Yeah, it's great. We've been seeing that throughout the whole show.
Mhm.
They've been giving us more and more, little details about that. Speaking of little details, one thing I noticed the second time around watching this episode, our boy Hunter actually he has a holster now for his pistol, for his DC-17. He
Get out
actually
of
has a
town.
holster on his right hip
Whew.
for his DC-17, which is just so weird. Like, I'm glad he does now because that's been a big thing so far. Not a big thing, but like he would normally before you'd see him tuck it behind his back, but on the character model there is nothing there. There's no holster or clip or anything. And then in the Cad Bane duel, he just kind of has it plopped on his hip, like not in a holster. It's just kind of sitting there. And then now he's finally got a holster. So I'm wondering what the actual what he actually has.
Yeah, I completely missed that.
I'll try to find a picture.
I do know, because again, I have the Shadow Black series.
Yes, sir.
I have the Hunter figure, and nothing. You can't display him with the DC-17 pistol. Like, there's nowhere to put it unless he's holding it. So
yeah,
it is a weird little thing.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. I can't find a good picture of him from that side because it's on his right hip. It was just the one from what I saw anyway. But I saw that and I was like, wait a minute. Does it just pop there? Does he have a holster, or does it go magically behind his waist and just disappear?
I feel like this is another Echo helmet situation. Hopefully
yeah,
they'll resolve it in the same way.
Yeah, if you go back and watch the episode, it's definitely there. He's got a holster for it. Which I feel like that would be something you'd put at the beginning of the show, but
yeah,
that's a minor little nitpicky thing, but I guess it's cool that it's finally there. But the last little thing I had anyway, we didn't see who won that holo chess game at the end of the episode. I feel like that's kind of I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. That's kind of an important detail, whether Omega is going to come with you or not. And they play it off as a lighthearted sort of bonding moment. But imagine that scene if Hunter wins and then she can't go with them. It's like this happy's like, let's play a game just to see. And they're all smiling and laughing. And Hunter just boom,
wipes the board.
You're never coming with us again. And it's just why would you have that be a possibility with the tone? It just didn't make sense with the tone of the scene there. But I don't know. What do you think about that little ending?
I do agree. That was kind of weird how they just faded out there. They didn't even start playing the game. He's just like, all right, let's play. They sat down and boom, roll credits. But I do think it's another thing where since the whole episode was weak as a whole, that you notice that like that stands out more than it should. Like that then you're
Yeah,
like, oh yeah, wait, that doesn't make sense either. Because like again, it could have just been a throwaway thing, like, oh, they play for a game and then she's gonna come back no matter what. But then they say, no, let's play for if you're ever gonna come on a mission again. Like again, another weird choice. Like
yeah,
I feel like they could have substituted Hollow Chess for another game or something in general. Like there should have been another way for her to make back the money that one wouldn't be this weird like weird like ending where we
yeah,
don't really know what happens, and two wouldn't draw attention and kind of like contradict it.
yeah. Or at least just
Um
another way, another reason for them playing, not
yeah.
whether or not she'll be on the team.
Yeah, just like, but again, it's those little things like where if the Bad Batch has a great ideologic like epiphany, and there's this great episode, I'll be like, yeah, whatever, they're just playing it. She's gonna come, whatever. I can overlook that. Like I can suspend my disbelief. But
Yeah,
again, I just want to reinforce when you have the weak episodes like that, it just stands out more. And I don't know. I
yeah,
hope this is the last episode to do that. Where we lose so much potential because again, we're getting this was episode 10. We're more than halfway done the series. I
yeah,
want to kind of pick up. But yeah, another weird choice for I guess like no reason.
yeah. I don't know, but it is what it is. The fact is now that the debt to Sid is paid.
Yeah.
Uh, for a couple episodes now, I've been kind of hoping that we would have moved on from Sid by now. Like she was fun for the couple episodes at the start there, but I feel like we're kind of just wasting time here because the only purpose she has is like their little safe house for the time being,
Hmm.
and like doing these little side missions for her. I kind of hope that maybe now we can kind of move away from her. I liked what we got of her already, but it's getting a little bit annoying. I hope that this means that we can expand, and go beyond just, hey, we're doing another mission for Sid, you know?
Yeah. No, we both said it. Like Sid's a cool character. She's a great addition, but kind of overstaying her welcome. Like I agree. I think if like it goes another episode, like that's kind of too far. I'm kind of on the edge of my seat, like, all right. Because to me, like before going into it, I was like, the Bad Batch are gonna be planet hopping, running away from the Empire, doing this and that. But they've been doing side quests for a smuggler and bounty hunter. Like that's or not bounty hunter, but I guess ringleader. Kind of not where I saw the series going. Kind of, I mean, it makes good. It's been good story so far. It kind of makes sense, but overstaying the welcome. Like let's move on type of thing.
Speaking of moving on, any final details you got
Ooh.
here before we wrap up?
I think that's it for me. I guess predictions.
I
Um,
guess.
for me, like you said, kind of. I think now that that's paid, we are gonna finally move on. We've kind of seen everyone in the trailers that like Rex we've
Yep,
seen,
yep,
Fennec we've seen. So I'm hoping, maybe another run in with the Empire or something. They catch up, but new planet, new people. I think Avi Singh was a great new character. Again, I think it would have been an excellent one episode character. The
yeah,
episode wasn't good, as we've discussed. But if we can do it next episode where, I don't know, they go to a new planet, maybe help out some locals, maybe find new shelter with those locals, meet
yeah,
another great new character to the series, I'd be really for that. I think that's the one aspect of the Bad Batch I want the most, other than like development with the Bad Batch himself, is the new characters. I think Sid's been good. Who else? Avi Singh. There's someone I forget in the early episodes. I don't
cut
know, but what was that? Sorry.
cut McQueen.
Oh, yeah, he was cool, but again, he's a returner. I want
Yeah,
to see like more like brand new characters. I want to be developed. That's gonna bother me. I know there's some, but anyway, I think that's where, or I hope that's where we'll go. Like new planet, new characters, probably on the run from the Empire. Though that's my like conflict of the episode. But what do you think, Evan?
ooh, it's kind of unpredictable at this point because like it's hard to
Yeah,
just say based on context clues exactly what's gonna happen next because it seems like it's just random, you know.
that is true. I
But
feel been off.
I feel like they probably will
That's all right.
be leaving Ord Mantell. maybe they'll have the beginning of the episode will be set there, but I feel like they'll probably bounce from there to do something. Whether they're returning at the end, I don't know. I think we've seen all the trailer footage up to this. I think the last trailer
Yeah.
footage was from this episode with them with all the clones on Raxus. And that I don't even think that was in the original trailer. That was in the mid-season trailer they put out like a couple weeks ago. I
Mm.
believe we've seen everything from the trailer. I could be wrong. But yeah,
Yeah.
like you said, for the most part, all the characters that are in it anyway, we've pretty much seen. So that's definitely a positive. That means that most of the stuff coming out is stuff that we have no clue about. Since the beginning of
Exactly.
the show, like we knew that Rex was coming, we knew about certain fight scenes, we knew stuff was happening. But it's nice to have like absolutely no clue what's going to happen. I guess what I want to see, I want to see a slow episode, a sort of methodical character episode, which is what I thought this was going to be, but it kind of just turned into a fun actiony one.
Yeah.
But I want a slower, kind of like episode 1, which was like that slow episode plus the actiony episode because it was so long.
Yeah.
But I kind of want the vibe like that. I kind of want to see our characters maybe divided or on something, or I basically want what this episode was supposed to be. um, yeah,
That's fair.
kind of want a slower episode. Um, I want to see more with the elite squad soldiers. We had like 2 scenes of them in episode. I think 4 is the one where they're on the asteroid. 3 or 4, I don't remember.
Yeah.
But the Bad Batch is on doing their whatever on the asteroid, and this new elite squad comes in, and there's this thing they're butting heads with Crosshair because he's a clone. They don't think he should lead. And then Crosshair kills one of them. Those are all characters. Like we've seen their faces and we've heard them speak. But other than like in battle, like yeah, he's up there, or that's where the signal came. We haven't heard
Yeah.
anything else from them. I feel like maybe we could go back to Crosshair and his squad, a more Crosshair centric episode. While Crosshair and his guys were in episode 8, the main focus was the Bad Batch and Omega getting captured by Bane and all that. I want a more, slower. Maybe on the Bad Batch's end, they have like the slow day, they have like the B plot. But I kind of want to get back. I want to get a little something with Crosshair and his supposed, elite squad, because I feel like we haven't gotten a lot of that since way in the beginning of the show.
And those guys were marketed too. Like the Flame Trooper one, like they've been in promos and stuff. They made it seem like they'd be big characters. So hopefully they are. Who knows? I think that'd be cool to see as well.
Yeah, we're running out of episodes. There's only 6 episodes left.
Yeah.
They keep, going. It's just like 23, 24-ish minutes per episode. Then we only got like 2 hours, 20 minutes left of the show.
Dang. Don't say that. Oh.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They gotta, I really hope that this second, or I guess this last third of the show really kind of kicks it into high gear. Because this was the first like dud in a while. Because we were going
I
strong for
know.
I think it was like 7, 8, 9, or maybe 6 through 9 or 7 through 9 were all really good episodes. And then this one just capped it off in a really kind of bitter taste. But I guess moving on now to our final thoughts. All of that, and at the end of it all, I still think this was an okay episode. Like it was fine. The action was what saved it, and the animation is what saved it for me anyway. But this is definitely my least favorite of the show so far. Unless there's another stinker that comes up, this will most likely be both of our bottom of the ranking episode.
God forbid, though.
Yeah, I hope not. I hope if this is the worst that we get, that is good. That's pretty good. If the worst you can get is this, then I mean, I think you got yourself a pretty okay show.
Yeah.
Overall, just underwhelming. Missed potential like crazy. There were some redeeming factors, and some cool details that we did talk about. But yeah, how about you? What do you think here? Wrapping it up.
Yeah. No, I pretty much agree with you. I do want to say though, like, while it may seem we get harsh on it, that's just a testament to how passionate we are Star Wars fans, because we just want to see it be the best it can, and when we know it can be better, kind of gets us frustrated and again underwhelmed, unsatisfied. But in general, like we said, if this is the worst episode, it's still a great series. Like I'm perfectly fine if this is the worst one. Because again, looks great, action's cool, kind of all right, stories just missing a couple little things, so I'm fine with that. But yeah, definitely my bottom though.
Yeah. But yeah, we will be at the end of the series be ranking. We'll watch the whole series over again, and then we'll be ranking the episodes from our personal least favorite to most favorite. Hopefully that video won't be as long as the Mandalorian one, but this show
Yeah.
is like double the length in terms of
Yeah, I know.
episodes. So,
We'll
but
see.
yeah, let us know what you thought. Do you completely disagree? Is this your favorite episode? Probably not, but there's
Yeah.
somebody out there maybe. Yeah, let us know what you thought. Check out the reaction for this episode for our initial, surprise reactions and all that, as well as the other episodes and reviews for the other episodes. So yeah, thank you for watching, and we'll see you later this week with episode 11. Peace out.
See you
Girl
later,
Scout.
alligators.
Ooh, those are
Oh, we
double.
both did a little.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Peace
shout
out,
out,
Girl
Craig.
Scout. Craig.
Yeah.
Like Craig.